He said, "I'm sorry." And for a moment, she almost believed him again. Because he always knew what to say. The right tone, the right look, the right timing. But this time, something in her didn't move. It wasn't anger. It wasn't hatred. It was silence. A silence that felt like truth. That was the day she realized his apologies were never meant to heal her. They were meant to reset her pain, just enough so he could break her again. And that's when she made her choice. She chose peace over his apologies. Most people think leaving a toxic relationship means blocking the person and moving on. But that's not true. Leaving physically is easy. It's the emotional detachment that takes strength. You see, toxic people don't always destroy you through anger. They destroy you through repetition. Apology, affection, abuse, apology again, until you can't tell what love feels like anymore. Every time she thought about leaving, he'd pull her back with, "I'll change. You mean everything to me. I can't live without you." And she wanted to believe him because she didn't want to start over. Because deep down, she wasn't just afraid of losing him. She was afraid of losing the version of herself that existed only when he said, "I love you." It always starts the same way. He hurts her, then apologizes, then becomes the man she fell in love with again. That short phase of kindness tricks her brain into believing maybe he's finally changed. But psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, a manipulation technique where kindness becomes a reward for compliance. He doesn't change. He just gives enough to keep her hopeful. And hope becomes her prison. She'd sit by her phone, waiting for that one text, "I'm sorry." And when it came, it felt like oxygen. But every apology cost her another piece of peace. Every "I'll do better" delayed her healing. Every "you're overreacting" trained her to doubt her emotions. And one day, she looked in the mirror and didn't recognize herself. That's when she realized his "I'm sorry" weren't proof of love. They were proof of control. It wasn't the shouting, it wasn't the lies. It was the silence. The silence after every apology, when he went back to being the same person and she went back to pretending it didn't hurt. That's the thing about emotional abuse. It doesn't always come with bruises. Sometimes it comes with constant second-guessing, with the feeling that maybe you're the problem. She kept giving him chances, not because he deserved them, but because she needed to believe she wasn't stupid for loving him. But pain has a strange way of teaching truth. One night, after another argument that ended in his half-hearted "sorry," she sat alone in her car, gripping the steering wheel, crying quietly, and she whispered to herself, "I can't do this anymore." That wasn't just exhaustion, that was clarity. When she stopped expecting apologies, something powerful happened. She started seeing the truth behind them. She realized his "I'm sorry" never meant remorse. It meant reset. It was his way of starting over without taking accountability. Psychologists say the hardest part of healing from manipulation is accepting that the person you loved never existed. It was all projection. He wasn't loving her. He was loving how she loved him. Her empathy was his power source. And when she stopped feeding it, he started fading. That's when she understood. Peace isn't something someone gives you after they hurt you. Peace is what you find when you stop letting them do it again. The day she chose peace wasn't dramatic. There were no tears, no shouting, no closure speech. It was quiet. She simply didn't reply.
She didn't need to. Because healing doesn't always look like strength. Sometimes it looks like silence. She stopped explaining her pain to someone who enjoyed causing it. She stopped hoping his apology would sound different this time. She stopped checking if he changed. Because she changed. That's the moment peace begins. Not when they stop apologizing, but when you stop needing it. At first, the silence was loud. She missed the chaos, not because she liked it, but because it was familiar. But slowly she started to fill that silence with herself. Morning walks, old songs, new dreams. She painted again. She laughed again. And for the first time in years, she slept without fear of waking up to a storm. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering without pain. She learned to trust her intuition again, to listen to the voice inside that said, "You deserve peace, not permission." One day, months later, he texted again, "I've changed." She read it, smiled, and simply deleted it. Not out of hate, but because she finally understood that not every message needs a reply. Her silence was her closure. Her peace was her power. That's when she knew she was free. Because when a woman finally chooses peace, no apology in the world can make her go back. If you've ever forgiven someone over and over just because they knew how to say sorry, this story is yours too. You don't owe your peace to someone who only brings you pain. You owe it to yourself. Healing isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always enough. So choose peace. Choose boundaries. Choose self-respect. Because when you do, you don't just end a chapter. You begin a new life. If this message spoke to your heart, subscribe to Beyond the Red Flags. Every week we explore the psychology of love, healing, and emotional strength, so you can spot red flags early and build a love that feels like peace, not survival. Because real love doesn't hurt your soul, it heals it.